What is my why? Thank you everyone for coming back from yesterday. I hope you watched the last video. It gives you about who I am a little bit. This video is about what is my why. And to make it simple, my goal is to help support and educate entrepreneurs, founders, business owners, and even corporate executives when it comes to the finance arena. All my life, I've been known as being different. And being different also includes not working for someone. I did work for someone, but that includes being different. I wanted to be on my own. Being different also doesn't mean that I don't like jobs. I had jobs throughout my whole career, and most of the time I was usually the best at what I did. So it has nothing to do with that. But being different in the sense of I wanted some independence, and I felt like I can do a lot more versus what I was doing at the other job. Now, throughout the years, during my odyssey of finding my dream job, I've noticed that I gravitated towards books a lot of people didn't gravitate to in my ecosystem. Similar, maybe with more finance or accounting, but not really to business valuation, private equity, but I was gravitating towards those books, venture capital books, private equity books, corporate strategy, because that was the field that I was in at the time, and also other books around that. But I was also listening to a lot of business podcasts, how they set up their strategic analysis, how they can be a digital agency doing multiple different stuff. And these are the things that captivated me. But then as time went on, I noticed I started becoming a big proponent of businesses, mostly middle class and lower businesses because they have the most issues because they don't have a lot of public information and investors not established. So I became a big proponent of business in general. But you start to notice over time, and this was the sad part, is that a lot of the businesses were either going into bankrupt, even some of the big ones like Blockbuster, which was a childhood favorite of mine, or Toys R Us, which is another favorite of mine. And there's a lot of other ones that went out of business, but a lot more smaller businesses go out of business too that they needed. And I noticed they didn't have the help. And that's when it clicked for me. And these businesses needed my help. So because of that, it was like my skill sets match what the industry wanted. In the same light, I wanted to see these businesses succeed, so therefore I had the opportunity to do so. But if you don't know what I'm talking about with my skill sets, it's not too important, but if you watch the first video, I kind of go into like some of my corporate experience and my analyst experience a little bit, not too much, but just so you guys can see what my passions meant. As time went on, I began working with some of these people as clients or founders of friends, or founders in general, business owners, or reading about them, and in many capacities networking with them and trying to figure out who they were. And I noticed they really, really needed help. And it wasn't just a little bit of help, it was a lot of help because they couldn't control their finances or they couldn't sell their businesses. And even if they did have a good, stable outcome at that moment, sometimes they didn't know their financial projections. And at the very least, people couldn't even sell their businesses, so their retirement wasn't good. And this is where I noticed that I needed to come in, because look at it from this way. These entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff, they're not just providing for their families, but they also have to provide for the world. Whoever calls them, they're there. And the better they do, they could be rewarded with revenue. So it's my duty to help. And that's why I support them. With who I am, my skill sets, my experience, and everything that I have going on provides me to be the best valuation analyst that I believe for them in every capacity. But this is how my skill sets match with what I provide. There's three main things I do provide. One of them is buying a business. The second one is selling a business. And the third one is business valuation. So how did this look? So the first one is buying a business. It's like you coming to me as a buyer, give me your criteria, and I will finding it. So let's say you want to enter into a new market and you need this much of market share, or you just need someone to invest in your company, then you would come to me and I would do all the analysis and the valuation for that company when we must find it. Then you can buy the business from that person and then both of you guys are happy. Second is selling a business. So this is where you come to me and you want to sell your business. Now, same thing, the preliminary stuff, I'm going to do the valuation. And then once that valuation is done, I'm going to go look for whoever, whether it's private equity, venture capitalists, but sometimes clients have preferences. So I might just have to look for a family office or another business owners, depending on the client's preference. And if you're my client, I have to go with your preferences. I'm going to be the best person to do that. The last one, which is the third one, is business valuation. This is probably one of the most important, or I guess the step, because if you do this wrong, you cannot sell your business for the right price, or someone can take advantage of you. But all this means is determining the value of your business, or what is your business worth. Piece out of everything here, valuation could be used for many reasons as well. So it's not just for buying or selling. Someone might want to invest in your company. For instance, an equity investor might want to come in as a VC or an angel investor and say, hey, I want 25% of the equity interest, but I need to determine how much your business is worth. That's one example. Or you may have a private equity looking to consolidate within a niche market and wanted to pay a premium, which is wanting to pay you more. So they're trying to buy you out. So there's many reasons why valuation. You can even get a loan, some loan like the SBA loan, when you me or someone to determine the value of your business. So you can get that loan. But all these reasons are for different purposes, and I can do mostly all of it, but it all determines what the purpose is for. And this is where my skill sets agree. And that is how I can help. One of my greatest skill sets is valuation. Actually, it is my competitive advantage. When I was in corporate strategy doing corporate development work, I was noticing a lot of things that people were just loosely missing, like calculating valuations on a negative net earnings. Like some things did just make sense. And these are some of the basics. However, smaller companies that are not Fortune 500 or billion-dollar companies didn't have that. Now, like I said, I support all businesses, but there are the ones that didn't have it. And to add more negative news, they were getting unprofessional financials. They weren't even setting their business. They were getting poor forecasts. And at that point, I decided I want to help. This became my passion and what I love doing. I love accounting. I love finance. I love economics. I love helping out business owners, founders, entrepreneurs. And eventually, my passion became my why. And that's why I'm here today. So thank you. This is a short introduction, continuation of what I was saying yesterday. Look out for some more because the road is getting started, and I want to give you guys some more context, who I am, what my purpose is, and we can start training later on in the future. Thank you and have a great time. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.